I've officially seen 45 films put out by arguably the greatest movie studio working today.
Watch your fucking mouth.
A24 is mostly known for their more artistic approach to film. I don't know how this one's gonna go for me. Either people are gonna really like my opinions on my bizarre way of looking at film, or they're gonna see my list and see that I put something they really love really low.
Evil dies tonight!
I'm just here to talk about movies, and if you like that, then let's have some fun together. So we're gonna keep things pretty simple today. Let's get all these out of the way first things first. Nope. This is gonna take a little bit. Wow, why am I making an A24 list? I haven't seen like half of this shit.
Oh, brother.
I think I'm unprepared to deal with this. This is crazy. I guess that's right.
Jesus fucking Christ, it's about time!
We're gonna start off with the movie First Reformed. All I'm gonna say is Ethan Hawke is phenomenal, but I probably would have never intentionally chose to watch this type of film if Ethan Hawke hadn't been in it. That's just me being honest. It's incredibly dark and bleak, and that last scene is a pretty big ol' what the fuck. But it might be a little too bleak for my taste.
Oh, pretentious much?
It's just too much of a slow burn for me. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this one in good enough. Okay, the next one here, I'm gonna get probably canceled for this. I know a lot of people genuinely love this movie and say it's super relatable. Sure, I'm just gonna get right into it. We got 8th grade. I gotta say, this awkward humor, specifically in this movie, is just too much for me. It's almost unbearable to watch at times. And maybe that's the point. I think Bo Burnham accomplished exactly what he wanted to accomplish with this movie. But at some points, I just couldn't fucking stand how this girl acted. It just didn't mesh well with me. It felt uncomfortable to watch. It felt like more like homework. I would never rewatch this one again, and I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to put this one in meh. Okay, next up on the list is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I have conflicting feelings about this movie. On one note, the script feels like an hour-and-a-half Twitter feed. Everybody in this movie was so fucking annoying. But I understood the point of it. I liked that about it. I mean, it didn't stick out like crazy. It's not the most memorable experience I had in the movie theater, but I walked out of the theater and I was like, yeah, I'd see it again. That was entertaining. The twist at the end, a lot of people had a problem with it. I thought it was fine. I was like, okay, that caused all this. I'm also gonna go as far as to put it in the good enough category. Okay guys, next up, I'm not gonna spend basically any time talking about this movie. If you like it, sure, good for you, understandable. I just didn't like anything about Tusk. You know, Justin Long's always cool. But other than that, I got absolutely nothing out of this movie. I like Kevin Smith as a director, but what the fuck was that, man? This ain't it. Next up, we got Climax. This movie made me want to have a fucking heart attack.
Hurts, Floyd, it hurts so bad.
I saw this like 2 years ago, and I still can't tell you if I actually enjoyed it or not. This is one of those experiences where, like, the longer you watch while you're watching it, the more gross you feel.
What the hell does that mean?
I showered like 3 times. Okay, that's excessive. Point is, I did shower after this movie because I felt disgusting. I guess that's the point. It's just supposed to make you feel like someone slipped you shrooms without you knowing, and your confusion makes the trip worse and worse. That's what it's like. But I don't think I would ever be like, yeah, I can't wait to sit down and watch Climax again. But I'm still gonna put it in good enough. Next up, come on. This movie encapsulates what a heated blanket feels like.
That's what's up.
The chemistry between Joaquin Phoenix's character and his nephew it's unbelievable. You'd think this was his actual child. Dude, I just thought it was so sweet, so down to earth, so relatable, so understanding. Everything about this movie would normally not be my cup of tea. I don't know if I'd call it an awesome experience. I'm gonna put it in really damn good. It comes at night. It's an insanely creepy cabin fever thriller. To be honest, the marketing fucked this whole movie up. The trailers made it seem like an apocalyptic horror monster movie. Technically, it's just not that at all. It's more of an eerie psychological thriller about family isolation, lack of trust, paranoia, and I think I really dug it because I watched it way later. It was really solid, man. There were a couple really creepy ass moments, some like real tension once the other family got brought into the mix. I'm gonna put it in really damn good. The Disaster Artist. This is the best movie ever made about the worst movie ever made. Am I wrong, or is that just not a fact?
I suppose you're right.
James Franco is by far at his best here, both as an actor and as a director. The attention to detail, the comedy, and the script are all so expertly done. So guess where it's going, fuckers? It's going in the awesome tier. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Everything.
Instantly all-timer. It's one of the best A24 movies, period. I mean, there's a reason it won like 6,000 Oscars. It's such a bizarrely perfect blend of action, comedy, sci-fi, etc. You don't get to experience often. This was one of the greatest theater experiences I ever had. No, bitch, I'm not joking. The incredible cast. Michelle Yeoh, who won Best Actress, by the way. Jamie Lee Curtis, who won Best Supporting Actress, by the way. Ke Kwan, who won Best Supporting Actor, by the way. And Stephanie Hsu, who I'm still kind of mad about that. I don't know how she didn't win. I'll be honest, I thought she was arguably the best part of the film, and she's the only one who didn't get the win. Okay, now you're bringing up some bad emotions. We gotta move on. We're moving on to Enemy, directed by Denis Villeneuve. The only thing better to me than a Jake Gyllenhaal thriller is a thriller with double Jake Gyllenhaals. This is one of Denis Villeneuve's most interesting films. I mean, all the symbolism with the spiders and that freaking spine-chilling ending. I can't unsee that. This one is extremely mind-bending and metaphorical. The mystery works, the eeriness works. I think it all works. Denis Villeneuve is a master director, and you know that. I don't have to sell you on that. I expect nothing less. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this right up in awesome. Next up, we got The Florida Project. Willem Dafoe, a god among men.
Yeah, no shit.
He steals the show here. And the kids have no right to be this authentically good in this movie. I really love the idea to have the little kid's POV be basically at the forefront of the film. I felt like I was one of these oblivious little kids while watching this. I feel like it's supposed to be watched more of as a feeling than a coherent story. So in that aspect, I think it works really well. So just for that alone, I wish I could have a category for Willem Dafoe. So I'm just gonna put it in really damn good.
Sure.
Fuck out of here.
Next up, we got Free Fire. This is a non-Guy Ritchie film. Does that make sense? On one hand, I feel like this movie's trying so hard to be Snatch or Smoking Aces, but with much less pizzazz and slick editing. On the other hand, I think the casting was great. There's so many different personalities on display here. I will say the shootout scenes are great. It's definitely entertaining. All I'm saying is it could have just been more memorable. So overall, it's kind of meh. Uncut gems. Uncut gems. Is that how she says it? Uncut gems.
I mean, I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Sit your ass down.
Adam Sandler. What else needs to be said? I still think it's absolutely criminal he didn't even get acknowledged. I just still can't wrap my head around that disgusting act of terrorism. I really tried to say that with a straight face. Adam's ability to bring so much charisma and empathy to such a scummy character. It's something we've never seen before. Also, you know what? Fuck your opinions. That ending was perfect. Did you really believe wholeheartedly that should have worked out for him?
Yes.
Because I'm not buying it. It's entertaining to watch him, but he didn't deserve a happy ending. And the message is more hard-hitting because it did happen. That's all I'm gonna say. But Uncle Joms is going in all-timer. Moving on to the first directorial debut by the Safdie brothers, and that is Good Time. This is where Robert Pattinson proved to me that he's an A-list actor. Go fucking watch Good Time. Robert Pattinson is more than Edward Cullen. The Safdie brothers are on another level with their overbearing dialogue and editing style that makes you want to go re-up on your anxiety meds. I think that over time, and if I rewatch this again, I think it'll work its way up this list for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and put Good Time also in really damn good time.
That was really stupid.
The Green Knight. First off, the color correction. Holy fuck. The journey Dev Patel's character embarks on is intriguing, inspiring, creepy, creative, all the above. Once you understand what all the symbolism means too, I think it just makes the experience of watching this again even greater. Man, this movie's brilliant. It's fucking awesome. Now we got Green Room. I might be in the minority when it comes to this movie. I think that this is one of the most intense escape thrillers out there.
Stop the cap.
Usually you're watching characters in these types of movies make really stupid decisions, but these guys try every move in the book to get out, and it just leaves you in a state of anxiety because you have no idea how they're gonna manage to get out of this situation. As a musician myself, I think I'm gonna stay clear of performing at like really fucked up homicidal neo-Nazi bars. It's probably for the best. Green Room, all-timer. Next up, we got Minari. If I'm gonna get canceled for an opinion on this list at any point, it's gonna be this one right here. Just back up, put the pitchforks down. I gotta explain myself first. At least give me that much. It's obviously a beautiful family drama. It just felt a little too slow for me. It might have been the mood I was in when I watched it. Maybe I was more in the mood for something upbeat, fast-paced, and more thrilling, and that's my bad for fucking up my experience of this movie and then putting a bad taste in your mouth because of it.
You blew it!
We're gonna make a new road just for Minari. We're gonna add it and not for me. Now, this is where shit's gonna get interesting. Hereditary. What can I say that's not already been said about this movie? Toni Collette's unnerving and terrifying performance. What the fuck happened at the Oscars where they saw this movie, saw this performance, and said, she doesn't need it. Fuck you very much.
You disgust me.
There's so many snubs when it comes to A24 movies. How the fuck did Brie Larson get it? But Toni Collette, you know what? We're just gonna move on. That classroom desk scene, it's a staple in horror history. And all I'm gonna say is that scene in the attic with the cutting sound still haunts the living shit out of me to this day. But I can't deny the amount of impact it had on me. I thought it was a brilliantly made film. I thought it's one of the best horror films ever made, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like not too many people can really argue with me putting it in an all-timer. Next up, we got High Life. It's a really horny version of Interstellar. Wrap your head around that. I love me some Rob Pattinson. I think he's the best part of the movie. Also, Andre 3000 is in this movie. I completely forgot about that. And it's also the first movie I ever saw Mia Goth in, so that's cool. I think it does a lot of things right. I just think there's not enough happening. It was kind of meh. The moment we've all been waiting for. Ari Aster's brand new film, Beau Is Afraid. What do I say? What do I say? First of all, Joaquin Phoenix, wow. His incredible display of every single emotion, fear, confusion, anxiety, shock, sadness, discomfort, it's all on display here. He easily carried the movie, and I don't think the character would have worked had it not been for this casting choice. We need to cherish that man. He's the modern day Daniel Day-Lewis.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I fucking said it. What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna get straight to my thoughts on it. I think it's brilliant. It was tense. It was captivating. At times, I definitely felt the runtime. It's definitely not Ari Aster's best film. A tension-filled odyssey for 3 hours of this guy just losing his fucking mind, being afraid of everything, and constantly being catapulted into some shit where you're just like, how did we get here? Moving on, we got Hot Summer Nights. And I'm not gonna waste any time on this because I wanna make this as short as humanly possible for you guys. It's just pretty generic for a film studio full of extremely creative projects. Timothée Chalamet was honestly the only thing that kept me interested here. That's as much praise as I can possibly give this movie. It felt like 1,000 other movies in this genre. Next up is probably the movie I think I watched the most recently, and that's The Hole in the Ground. This movie's pretty creepy. I personally think it was a little bit more thrilling than Brightburn, but Lee Cronin is an incredible director, and we just saw that with The Evil Dead Rise, so this movie's just about a little boy and his mother. There's a hole in the ground. Boy goes in that hole. The boy's not the same. He's a different boy. He's a bad boy.
What? Why would you even say that?
But I gotta say, there's some really, really good moments of tension. Really nice cinematography. It's shot incredibly well. I think this movie works for what it is. It's good enough. I'd probably watch it again, you know, if I had nothing else better to watch. We got Lady Bird. The humor here is so awkward, but it's so grounded and relatable. I was much more in tune with these characters and the style of humor here than I was with 8th grade. I'm just gonna be honest. It could be the star power. It could be the direction by Greta Gerwig. I just think the comedy here hit for me a lot better. It helps that you got elite performances from Laurie Metcalf, Saoirse Ronan, Timothée Chalamet. The mother-daughter dynamic in this is by far the strongest aspect of the film. I think it's done extremely well. But I will say overall, it's not as relatable of a movie for me as it is for some people, but it's solid overall, man. Okay, now we're moving on to The Lobster. This is one of those where I feel like if I watch it again, I bet you it'll go up on this list. Overall, I think it works really well when it's leaning hard into a super dark and absurd comedy. I think that's when it's at its best. I don't really know how to feel about it, but I think that's what Yorgos wanted you to feel, is to not feel what to feel. I don't know. I like it enough. So therefore, it's gonna go in good enough. The Lighthouse. This is the one I was looking forward to most. Robert Pattinson gets the fuck on a mermaid and then develops beef with a pack of seagulls. Willem Dafoe gets butt-ass naked and masturbates to a light.
What the shit?
He farts a lot and is extremely sensitive about his lobster. Look, this movie is fucking wild. and I couldn't seem to take my eyes off of it. All of the symbolism to Greek mythology, the slow descent into freaking madness, and the subtle but brilliant blend of horror and comedy. I think this movie's perfect. Let's be honest, dude. I'm putting it right in all-timer. Moving on, we got Lock. Tom Hardy's great. Okay, we can all agree on that. I'm not huge on one location movies, regardless of the story. There's just not much you can do with the inside of a car for like 80 minutes. The conversations that he's having on the phone are interesting, but I just couldn't care. This ain't it, Chief. Getting back into the good shit, we got Ex Machina. This movie solidifies its spot in where I'm gonna put this from the Oscar Isaac dance alone. Do I need to explain more? It's an incredibly executed sci-fi movie, and Alicia Vikander had no right playing that believable of an AI woman. It's scary to watch. I don't want to go deep into mental chaos thinking about this. So anyways, the twist ending is so smart in this, so impactful, and it's just so mesmerizing to watch where this film ends up. It's an all-timer. Another controversial film. Damn you, A24. Why are you doing this to me? Men. Fuck it. I can't deny my taste. The lingering creepiness of this movie completely worked for me, from beginning to end. It's honestly my type of weird. Jessie Buckley plays paranoia and grief incredibly well. Rory Kinnear playing like 15 different people, all with the same face. If you can ignore the stigma and the half-assed metaphors and some questionable CGI, I think this is a pretty damn good art house thriller. Keep your comment to yourself. If you're not gonna say anything nice, don't say it at all. That's what your mother told you, right? Next up, we got Mid-90s, the directorial debut by Jonah Hill, starring the kid that also plays as Atreus in God of War. Don't know his name. That's just how I know him. I don't really know what else to say about this movie. It feels almost documentary-ish, but it's done in a way where you really start to understand this character, and I think this is a really relatable movie to me. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one in, also in really damn good. Next up, we got Midsommar. Florence Pugh's heart-wrenching performance broke my entire spirit the day that I saw it. Haven't been fixed yet. This is what I'd like to call the most fucking twisted relationship movie I've ever witnessed. One time I heard somebody call it a rom-com.
You're sick in the fucking head!
To that person, I say, there's good medical physicians out there that can help you through your issues. This movie fucked me up. I'm honestly convinced Ari Aster just isn't human. So what the fuck is so wrong with me that I loved it so much? So where do you think it's going? It's going all-timer. We got Moonlight. Mahershala Ali snagged an Oscar for the 20 minutes his ass was on the screen. And he fucking deserved it. Besides that, it's one of the most captivating love stories ever told.
Ha! Gay!
The way that it transitions through 3 different periods of this kid's life, it's so artistic and beautiful looking, and all the nuances and performances and color grading, it's all masterful. I think it truly deserved the Oscar. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna also put that bitch in all-timer. Next up, we got Pearl. Mia Goth is deranged. She goes from goofy to awkward to unsettling to fucking psychotic almost effortlessly. I don't think I loved it as much as X, but as a prequel to that, it's insanely well done. It's like a weird mix of The Wizard of Oz and frickin' American Psycho. The clip that plays throughout the credits alone earns this movie at least an A tier. So we're bringing this up to awesome. Now we got Red Rocket, starring the weird guy from all the spoof movies. I'm gonna be straightforward as I can be with this. The style of comedy just didn't work for me. I understood the point of the character. I just couldn't care enough to want to keep following him. Simon fucking Rex. I knew that was gonna bother me. I wasn't even close. I will say though, he does play this scummy, broke ex-porn star pretty damn well. Man, fuck this character. The movie just ended at a certain point, and I was like, okay, cool, I guess. Not for me. Now we're on to 2015's Room. Like I said earlier, Brie Larson won Best Actress for this movie. She definitely deserved it. She's great in here. I thought this movie was extremely depressing, but the whole concept and everything this girl went through and how the kid went through what he went through to get out and how he experiences the world outside of the room, I thought it was extremely emotional, and it's one of the best child performances I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And there's some pretty good goddamn performances by kids. Right now, I'm gonna put it in awesome. Maybe I'll move it later, but now we're on to The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Colin Farrell, Barry Keoghan, Nicole Kidman, 3 top-notch performances here. Once again with Yorgos, warning, this movie's fucking twisted, bro. The deadpan style of acting and the creepy, awkward atmosphere throughout the movie works much better for me than it did in The Lobster, I'll be honest. That spaghetti scene is just engraved into my brain. Even though it's not super rewatchable, I do think this is an awesome film. Now we're gonna go way back. I think Spring Breakers was the first A24 movie I was introduced to. James Franco's over-the-top gangster performance where it seems like he's just mimicking riffraff.
Look at my shit. I got shorts, every fucking color.
Which, in a way, I actually really like. Extra points for getting Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens to sign up for this movie. Gucci Mane is in it because, sure, why not? He didn't really serve much of a purpose. It's a very wild, fun, good summer movie. I'm gonna put it in good enough. Now we're on to Swiss Army Man. I love this film. Somehow to me, the idea of a guy becoming friends with a rotting, farting, talking dead corpse and using him as a Swiss Army knife is somehow a really beautiful story about life and friendship.
You serious?
Yeah, I'm not joking. That's what this movie is. After seeing this, I honestly look at Daniel Radcliffe now and say, Harry Potter who?
Harry Potter is dead!
His chemistry with Paul Dano is so fun and unique and hilarious to watch from start to finish. So Swiss Army Man is going in the awesome tier. Under the Silver Lake. Okay, so let me get this straight. Andrew Garfield plays a not so great person who apparently beats up kids, commits vicious murder, and is a complete misogynist.
What the fuck?
But for some reason, it's so entertaining to watch him just go down this spiral of conspiracies. I'm gonna be honest, the guy's an idiot. In a way, I do believe this movie is depicting the ugliness of Hollywood. It was easily the most controversial film of 2019, and it's so easy to see why. And if this is the type of movie you don't want to try to crack the code on, maybe this isn't the movie for you because this is insanely confusing and you don't really get many answers, and you're gonna be saying,
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
I'm putting this in the awesome tier. Speaking of under things, we're going under the skin. What do we find? We find Scarlett Johansson eating up a bunch of men like it's nobody's fucking business. God damn. And then I realized she is the real Black Widow. She lures men into a void where she consumes them, but the way they decide to portray that on screen still disturbs me to my fucking core. The way she has this music swarming around the guys and slowly lures them into her deep dark abyss where she just flattens their skin, and it's fucked up, man. If that interests you and you want to see what's under some skin, I think it's worth watching. It's a little too slow at points, but I still would say it's a really damn good movie. The Witch. What's so great about The Witch, they say? The fact that within the first 15 minutes of this movie, a baby gets abducted and eaten by a scary-ass, droopy-boobed witch. That same witch turns into a baddie to seduce the younger brother, and then makes the mother think that she's breastfeeding. But it's actually a crow feasting down on them titties, and then makes it look like the innocent daughter was behind all of it. Now that's cinema. But let me be clear. To me, this is Robert Eggers' worst film. And I'm still putting that shit in S tier, baby. We're almost done. Now we're on to The Whale. So glad. The Renaissance is here, baby. His uplifting yet extremely depressing portrayal is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. It's set almost entirely in this guy's apartment, and it's structured a lot like a play. So on paper, it's not my type of film, but I grew up loving Brendan Fraser. I've been wanting to see him again on screen for so long. Furry Vengeance, man, that shit was ass. But then you got Darren Aronofsky, who, regardless of controversy around his movies, is one of my favorite directors of all time. I'm gonna put it in the awesome tier. Second to last, we got X. Man, this movie's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Boogie Nights meets Don't Breathe. How that works, I have no idea. But first off, they got automatic points from me for getting Jenna Ortega, Mia Goth, and Kid freaking Cudi. They had my ticket from the start. But this movie turned out to be shockingly good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's an extremely inventive slasher with a lot of strong themes like beauty and aging. I think it might be the best slasher I've ever seen. Yeah, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Okay, buddy.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this one also in the awesome tier. We got After Yang. And it stinks that I had to end this off on a pretty sour note. I know how much people love this movie. It's as heartfelt as it is aesthetically pleasing to look at. I like the family dynamic, and Colin Farrell just tends to steal the show in everything that he's in. It's just a little too slow for me. The characters don't really have enough depth. I think if this would have been a short film, it'd be an absolute masterpiece. It's not meh, but I won't say it's good enough to make me want to rewatch it, so we're gonna put it in not for me.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
So now in the This Ain't It category, I'm gonna put Tusk at the very bottom. Right above that, we're gonna put Hot Summer Nights. And then also we got Lock. Then we got the Not For Me category. I'm gonna put Red Rocket below that. And then at the top of the list there, we're gonna put After Gang. Moving up to the meh tier, 8th grade at the bottom. But then right above it is something that had me laughing at least a bit more. Free Fire is pretty generic of a movie, but works, I guess. So, and then right at the top of that tier, we're gonna do High Life. Moving up to Good Enough, The Hole in the Ground. Then next up is First Reformed. Slowly edging above that, we got Spring Breakers. After that, we got Climax. I probably never watch this again, especially not while I'm trying to climax. That was an unfortunate joke. Boo! Edging out right above that, we got The Lobster, leaving Bodies, Bodies, Bodies at the top of the Good Enough tier. Moving on to the really damn good. I think Men deserves to be at the bottom, but Alex Garland is an incredible director, so I'm not going to throw too much shade at him. Florida Project, centimeters above mid-90s is going to be Lady Bird. Then we got Under the Skin. It Comes at Night is such an underrated piece of thriller cinema. I think it's so well done. I'm going to cheat a little bit before I get to the end. We're talking about taking The Disaster Artist and putting it above It Comes at Night. Room, also in the really damn good tier. Good Time at the bottom. Let's keep Come On, Come On right there. Swiss Army Man right above Come On, Come On. Pearl, because I do like X more than Pearl. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Edging out right above that is going to be Under the Silver Lake. We got Enemy with Jake Gyllenhaal and Jake Gyllenhaal. Then we got X right ahead of that. Just above X, I'm going to put The Green Knight. Beau Is Afraid. And then at the top of the awesome tier, The Whale. Coming in at number 9, Moonlight is at the bottom. Green Room. Then we got The Witch. That followed by Ex Machina. I'm going to do Hereditary at number 5. Then we're going to take a crazy risk and let's hope it pays off for us. Uncut Gems is at number 4. So this is tough here. I'm going to keep Midsommar at number 3. I like it just a bit more than Hereditary.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know what? I'm going to move Everything Everywhere All at Once into second place. It's incredible, but I can't deny my truth. The Lighthouse is my favorite A24 film of all time. Holy shit, this movie is just unbelievably iconic. I truly think this is Robert Eggers' best film. The Lighthouse, all time. If for some reason you liked my ranking, or you just simply enjoy listening to me blabber on about movies, feel free to let me know below. I would love to know what your ranking is, and I'm hoping to see you in the next one. You better come back. You're fond of me, Lobster.
You're fond of me, Lobster. Say it. Say it.
I don't have to say nothing.
Danny!